We're here to talk about the greatest club
Glory, glory, Man
in
United!
English. In English,
Glory, glory, Man United!
Evla, copyright.
They
Hey,
Are
play
you
their own
serious?
hey,
rules on the
hey,
football field.
you know what,
What
James?
is offside trap?
You know what, James. In fact, you can kick us off, James. I know you've got a lot on your mind. Man City 3, Man United 0. One
Others play
win,
football.
1 win in 5. Uh,
Yeah,
Correction, 8 wins in
yeah.
31. Keep going.
Hey. James,
yeah.
what are we gonna do? What's going on? What's on your mind?
Look, there's obviously a lot on my mind, but yeah, I'd want to drag the conversation to start from where the
Drag
fundamental
it,
issue
James. Drag it.
Take your time,
is.
Chief.
We
But
here for
We're
you.
here for it. We're here for it.
no, but keeping it real, it's that thing of I guess we spoke about it when the season started. I mentioned it that since the first game against Arsenal, Fulham, Burnley, the United that I'm seeing, I'm still seeing the same United from last season. You play the Arsenal game 10 times again, we probably win that game 5 times, but the other 5 times probably we would lose 3-0 because you could see clearly the problems are still there. Fundamentally, problem number one has always been the goalkeeper. Yes, we've signed the keeper, he hasn't played yet. Arsenal, we lost, goalkeeper flapping. Fulham, you could still see the goalkeeper problems. And even in Man City, in theory, you could still see the goalkeeper problems. You look at the midfield, we do not have a midfield. The team is crying for a number 6. We've got no one who's there to control the game. So same problems come up over and over again. We're still insisting playing in a system where you do not have the profiles to play that 3-4-3 system. And it's so easy where, again, I'm just looking at the City game. The only thing City was doing was, you know what, you're not going to play us through the middle. We're going to force you just to play wide. Because why? If the ball goes wide to Dorgu, what is Dorgu going to do and to hurt us? If we give it to Mazrai, what is Mazrai going to do to hurt us? So it's easier just to give those guys the ball. They can have all the space they want. They're not going to hurt us. And that's what teams keep on doing. And then the moment you start forcing to get Bruno closer into the box, they're like, aha, here's our time to cash in, because there's gaps of space between the midfield and defense, and it's easy to overrun that defense. And chances just come easy for other teams, in a sense that for them to create a chance, they don't really have to work for it, because you just funnel United in and they'll just give you the chances. This is just rinse and repeat the cycle. The same thing happens over and over again. So, in short, it's like as much as I look at Amorim and look at him and again saying after 60 minutes, Mainu comes in, the game changes, and I look at the comments he mentioned and I'm like, guy, Mainu is the man, but at the same time, the system that you insist on playing, you do not have the profiles for it. Something has to give. But at the same time, I can't blame him, because I still look at Ineos, I still look at Glazers and say there has always been the same fundamental problem year in, year out. Poor squad building. You blame the manager, get the manager out, get another manager in. Same cycle repeats. Blame the players. It's Pogba's fault. It's De Gea's fault. It's whoever's fault. You get rid of them. Same cycle happens. You get the wrong players in. Then again, we blame the manager. And the same thing I keep on seeing is, guys, our recruitment has been shit. Whether it's Ineos, whether it's Glazers, we've perennially have a recruitment problem. Even right now, you get rid of Amorim, that whoever manager you get in, it will still be the same problem. Recruitment will be terrible. Ineos, for example, you come in, you give Ten Hag a contract, we waste the window on Ten Hag and getting the wrong players in. You get rid of him. You put in Amorim. There's fundamental problems with the squad. Same problem. Poor recruitment. Still the same cycle, still the same nonsense we have. You bring in Dan Ashworth, who has done brilliantly with Brighton. He's done well with Newcastle. You get rid of him because why? Sir Jim Ratcliffe does not like his opinions in how to build a squad. So, hey, Jason
Because he
Wilcox, what
wanted
have you
Graham
done in your
Potter.
life with Man City? We entrust you to build this Man United squad. Sir Jim Ratcliffe, How did it go for you at Nice and making them champions of France? Didn't go so well, did it? Now we have to entrust you to have this project with Man United where you are the one who's going to bring us back to the glory days. And for me, you do not have the CV for it. Get the football people in. So again, looking at Amorim, looking at what we have right here, guys, it's just going to be a repeat of last season. I do not see this guys getting a European position. Top 10, it's going to be a struggle because it's the same
Relegated.
year in, year out. Chances are a premium. We are predictable. We don't have a number 6. You're not playing your best players in areas where they can be effective. You can put Haaland in Man United, he's not going to score any goals. You put your best number 10 as a number 8. I mean, imagine Ozil tracking Marcus trying to prevent goals. Your best players should be playing in the right positions where they're creating chances, not tracking runners, not trying to control a game. So obviously something has to give, but I've just lost trust in whatever the Glazers and Ineos are trying to do, because year in, year out, it's the same nonsense that we keep on saying in terms of recruitment.
So I've got a few thoughts there, but it was just funny. City beat us with a one-man pivot. Rodri was alone in the midfield. He was alone, bro. Everyone was more rightness, and everybody was up there. So Rodri was holding down that midfield. One man. But anyway,
Simple.
there's a you clearly don't see eye to eye with your manager, because your manager saying that there's a big improvement, and he can see it. You're saying you're still seeing the things of last season. He's telling us that we're playing much better. So so
It's much better. Sure.
yeah, these
Much
are his
better.
words.
I don't know, man.
These are his words. I say apparently it's fine margins, but the team is far better. Apparently, allegedly. Somebody needs to tell the Premier League table that, because yeah,
Guys,
I don't think
you can't sign a new front three, and most of the time they're foraging for the ball in the halfway lines, where they're not in their best places where they can effect a goal. And chances always come as a premium, in a sense of every 25 or 30 or 40 minutes.
Yeah.
You need to have control where you get these guys always in the opposition half and sustain that pressure. But that's not happening.
So yeah, no, for sure. So for me, a couple of thoughts, and I know LG's dying to get into the Amorim discussion. We'll get there.
I'm patient. I'm patient.
We'll get there. I don't think I agree with the squad building thing under Ineos. I agree. Perennially, it's been an issue. I do think that under Ineos, we're starting to see the makings of a squad building plan, right? Because if you look at it, if you look at all the positions they've signed a goalkeeper, they've signed a centre back, they've signed a left back, let's just say Dogo, they've signed a right back, they've signed, in fact, two centre backs, because it was De Ligt and Euro. Let's just name them: left back Dogo, utility man right back Mazraoui, right? They've signed Ugarte, love him, I hate him. They've signed Ugarte, right? They've signed Mbuemo, they've signed Cunha, they've signed Sesko, right? They've almost signed like a whole new starting 11. It might not be a team that starts together, but they've almost signed all of that. They have gotten rid of a lot of deadwood, right? I think Luke Shaw's remains.
Apparently.
Yeah, Luke Shaw remains. Let's just throw Harry Maguire in there. Luke Shaw remains. Harry Maguire remains. Who else from the previous batch of Deadwood is there? None. They've already gotten rid of Drasmus. They've already gotten rid of Onana, the new batch of Deadwood. They've gotten rid of Vosancho and like all of these guys. They've gotten rid of Rashford. They've gotten rid of. So I think you can give them credit from like the squad building point of view. You can't do everything in one window. You can't do like these things happen over time. So I think they're doing something. They're doing something.
Something
Now,
that is not good enough. That's all I'm just saying.
you
Not
can't.
good enough.
We're coming from the pits of hell, bro. Like you need to take it. I think after the next window, when you look back at our squad, I think we'll have a much better squad.
The Red Devils
But
complain.
yeah, your internet knows you're talking trash. That's why it's censoring you.
Because
so
again, like
so
humor me for 1 second. Like for
yeah.
example, City, they start with Trafford,
Mm,
and then after 2, 3 games, they're like, maybe this is not gonna work. They get Donnarumma in.
mm.
These are the
But
sort of things I'm looking at to say.
but
You quickly realize that, oh,
yeah,
maybe
but
this
we're
is
not
not
the
gonna work.
same. But remember, City has league winners money for
Which
like
is fine.
they won 6 and 7, right? Never mind the oil,
Which is fine.
just like money. They've won the Champions League recently, so they've got money to spend. We don't have the
Which is
money
fine.
to say, like, even now we couldn't sell Onana because like stupidly he came in under old regime in terms of wages and all of that stuff. Uh, but like we couldn't sell him now and buy another guy. So thankfully, this transfer came through. They covered his wages and stuff. We could buy a young guy. It was part of the reason why we couldn't go for Donnarumma because we're
And
overcommitted in that
that's my
area.
problem right there. As an example, Onana is able to leave. We had an opportunity to sign a World Cup winner. Why
Mm.
does it take so long to say Onana go out on loan and you bring in a World Cup winner? Because the
We
problems
didn't want
are
to go.
right now, not to build. You've got a
Yeah,
goalkeeper problem right now,
yeah,
not a goalkeeper problem where you need to be building for resolving it. We're
yeah.
going to throw this young Belgian boy into the depths of hell where he has to grow up very quickly, where you could have just slotted in a World Cup winner. Simple as that.
Yeah,
It's not simple,
it's
James. Look, the
Yeah, I'm a
players you
football
guys
fan. I'm
signed.
not an accountant. For me, it's
No,
simple.
I'm just saying,
Yeah.
the players you guys signed for the last 6 years. Let's use the analogy of when you're at your grand's house and there's all the biscuits in the world there, and you're a kid and your cousins are there and it's fun. You know, when your mom comes and says, "Hey, it's time. Let's go. Let's go. I don't know, to the library or whatever." You're not going to go. It's nice, Kwako. And that's United's issue, is that it was fun. You guys had Rashford's on 300K, you had Sancho's, you have Onana's being paid too much. And PSR is a real, if you good living relegation zone, you can't you go and sign who you want to go
uh,
sign just
yeah,
because you're United. It must balance out, and
yeah.
you know, and that's the issue, is that now you have to go and sign this youngster, because even
Yeah,
with
no, but
Emi Martinez, it becomes a risk because he probably will come in and he'll probably say no, but I want 240, and then it becomes a thing of, this kid doesn't want 240, rather let's try it with him. So now you guys have to move like the position you're in. And you guys are doing well for the position you guys found yourselves. If
I'm
I'm
gonna
being
pop
honest with
some
you,
tags.
yeah.
And we got
But
20
no,
dollars
I'm not
in my
saying
I'm being
pocket.
honest. I'm being honest.
but I'm not
If
saying
any of us,
we should be signing a Donnarumma who's gonna be 500 per week. Much
also
is a
you'd be
better
disrespecting
example.
Donnarumma by signing him, by even talking to him, you're
He
disrespecting
wanted to
Donnarumma.
come. He
Who
wanted
is
to come.
Manchester right now
He would
to
have
talk to
come.
Donnarumma?
Nah, he was keen. He would have come. He would have come.
No, he would have come, but
But
it's
Yeah.
disrespect.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
disrespect. It's like Ferrari approaching Hamilton. It's just like, why did you guys do that if your car is not ready? It's the same
Guys,
thing with United. Like, why
Some,
are you approaching these players?
I've
Why
got
is
thoughts.
Buemo at United?
I've got thoughts
Why
about
is he
Hamilton,
there?
but we'll get there. We'll get there. So okay, we've spoken about the backroom stuff, right? So
yeah.
now these guys are here. Well, now I'm excited. These guys are here now. Now it's time to play football, right? Cool. There's this guy, the head coach. It's not a manager. The head coach, right?
You signed
no,
him already.
no, no. That's literally his job title. He's a head coach.
Mhm.
United don't do managers anymore. I get it now. We've got a sporting director. We've got all these things. We've got all these football guys. So head coach, right? He comes through. He says, "Okay, cool. These are my tools. This is my way. I'm gonna play, right?" And like, let's just walk the journey, right? I'll walk the journey. Ruben Amorim, he comes through look, he went. There was some Casapia or whatever. He got there. They were in the mud. He came. He turned them around. He got them good. I think he went to Braga after that. They were in the mud. He did his thing. He turned them good. Then after that, he went to Sporting. They were in the mud. Hadn't won a league for like 19 years or whatever. He did his thing. He turned them around. Got them into serial league winners here. So like you can imagine, this boy's feeding himself, right? He's clearly like the stuff that I'm doing is working, right? Granted, it was all in Portugal, but you look at it from his point of view. Everywhere he's been, his thing is working, right? Cool. So sharp. He gets his big move now. I mean, he's having conversations with, like City were eyeing him to replace Pep. He's having conversations with Liverpool. He's having conversations with all of these guys. United come knocking. Cool, sharp, right? He gets the United job. He knows his thing, right? This is my formula. I've done this formula. It's worked for me all this time. I've got no reason to think that my formula doesn't work, right? So this is the arrogance, or this is the confidence that he's coming in with, right? He starts applying his formula. Starts applying his formula. The formula is struggling here. You start switching some things, whatever. Cool. Get a few better pieces, whatever. You start applying the formula. The formula is not working. Yeah, right. So my problem with him, right, as a coach, and there's also, and by the way, I'm not even going to do the whole Amorim in, Amorim out thing, whatever. I know we're not sacking him, so there's no point in like expending energy on that for me right now, right? But this guy comes in, right? He's one of his first or second presser. He said that, guys, we're going to suffer. Suffer, man. You know, he said we're going to suffer. Last year, not last year, earlier, he said that we are going to suffer now so that next year we're in a better position and we can, start clicking and we don't have to suffer then. So because of that, I'm going to stick to my principles and we're going to do the suffering thing. And then he said, but I know football is a results game or something along those lines. And he said, I know that I need to get some wins in order to earn me the time to implement this project or this idea that I've got, right? This man is not getting any wins. This man has 7 wins in the last 7 months.
Salary.
I read the stat, bro. I read the stat, but since January, right? Since January, this man has not bought more than 1 game a month. Bro, it's wild, right? So my thing is, okay, Chief, I hear your plan. We're busy building our squad and stuff. But why don't you just for now, bro? Like, let's just get some wins, bro. Like, experiment. Even like this man has only beaten his 8 wins. I can always say he's got 8 wins. 4 of those 8 wins came against newly promoted teams or teams that are now relegated. Bro, we can't beat anybody. We can't beat anybody. Bro, just pause in your system just for 5 minutes. We're not even saying about 5 minutes, bro. Just get like 2-3 wins on the bounce and then go back to your system, whatever. My problem is this guy's stubborn and hard-headedness is going to get us into places where we shouldn't be.
Tish,
where shouldn't you be? You have to say it with your chest. You guys are proud United fans, right? Cool. Say it. Where shouldn't you be?
No. Okay. Before Ten Hag's last season, right? And not the season where Amorim came through, the season before, like his second season. Let me be clear. Before Ten Hag's second season, it was a catastrophe if we failed to qualify for the Champions League. And this is, I'm talking about after we, never mind winning, we were out of that conversation already. It was a catastrophe to finish out of the Champions League. We had the dip under David Moyes. He got sacked 10 months. He didn't even finish his thing because it was trending in that direction. We had all these other guys and whatever, Gilbo Mourinho or Solskjaer, all of them, they were finishing second, finishing third. Ten Hag came first season. I think he finished third or something like that.
Yep.
Second season, he fell off. He finished 8th. But that was a one-off, right? That was a one-off, and it was like, this is a terrible season. This can never happen again. The problem with Amorim,
Man,
is that now, like, the bar is not even like top 4 is the minute, like with
survival.
Amorim. Survival is the thing.
I'm a
With,
survivor.
with Amorim,
Survival.
not
I
getting
need
into
to hear
Europe.
it.
Not getting into Europe is like, it's not even like a thing that you could say, this could happen. It's almost like this is most likely going to happen. and I understand he's doing good work with getting rid of dead wood and all of that stuff. That's
Is it
cool
him,
off
though?
the pitch. No, he's got, like, yes, it's not only him, but he's a big player in that, right? But that's cool. But we brought you as a head coach for on the field, not for the off the field things. And right now, my problem is, Chief, since you've got it here, you haven't won back to back in the league. Like, I wanted to work for you, but now I can't defend you anymore. I can't defend you. I'm not
don't.
holding out an Amorim outside, but I'm saying that I can't defend you anymore, Chief. I've given you a chance. I've given you a preseason. You've had your preseason. You've got new players. Now, Chief, whatever happens from this
my
point,
guy.
it's on you, my guy. It's on you. I
Look,
can't defend you
look.
anymore. That's what I'm saying.
Look. Let me begin. Nah? I've got bullet points. Nah?
Facts.
And
Okay,
since you're talking about a journey, let me take this journey with you. But this time, without the delusion, without the Man United goggles, but in reality. Nah? I said to you last season, there is nothing this man has showed me in his time since being a manager, despite the fact that the players were shit mostly, despite the fact that Man United were a mess. I said to you, at least show me something. Be the difference amongst this mess and stick out head above. So we can all see and we can all clearly say, you know what? Had you had a better defender in that moment, you would have won that game. If you had a better striker there, it would have worked out. Had this, show me something that says to me, listen, you can see this guy's a quality coach. It's just that the tools are completely crap. And I said to you, I'm like, Chief, the level of the players are here. The level of coaching, however, is down here somewhere. Right? Anyway, back to the journey. Now, this guy took over, right? And he waffled. Told you guys that, no, we are going to suffer for a very long time. Pause right there. Chief, you're Man United. How dare you let anyone come and tell you that you're going to suffer first? For the whole season on top of that. Nah? And then he said, no, I need to buy myself time so that next season, I can do things better, things will get better. And here we are, here later, you're still suffering. Compulsive bloody effing liar, right? That's the first thing. Second thing, guys, Amorim is not the first coach on planet Earth in the history of football to have ideas and to have a system, to have a philosophy, to have principles. He's not the first. He is not the first. Do you understand? They've all come, they've all had it, but the one thing that they all have in common, Chief, every single one of them have in common, is that they examine their squad, they understand how best the squad can best represent them with their philosophies and principles, and wherever they can't, they adapt to cover the weaknesses and to maximize whatever particular strengths that exist. Every manager in world football history prior to this guy has done this. Every manager currently is doing this, and every single manager after this Amorim fraud is going to be doing this. So my first
remain employed.
Whatever. Every manager is going to do this. So my question, which is very rhetorical to this Amorim guy, is who the hell does he think he is? You lost in a derby, Chief, a Manchester derby. You got bent over in a Manchester derby. You created a new offside rule. Do you understand? All your players were on this side of that halfway circle. That's where they were. And you really played with offside trap that high. That's how high it was. That's how bad it is. In a derby, Chief, in a derby, and you have the audacity and the gall to say, I'm not going to change. If they want to change, rather they change me. Defiance. That's how much you've allowed this guy to waffle. He's confident in his waffle, defiance. I'm not going to change my tactic, I'd rather you get rid of me. He's literally saying it to your face. I'm not going anywhere, I'm not changing anything. And it's not working. It's just not working, right? That's my second issue with the guy. Third, I said to you last season, there are solutions within this team and this system. He's just not seeing them and he's not getting the best out of them. He's failing dismally at whatever is in front of him, right? Lineup, wrong. How do we know that it's wrong? It's simple. Maidu comes on. After he waffled for 2 months telling us biggest lot of bullshit about why he's not playing and whatever, all that nonsense. By the way, you guys almost lost a top talent in Maidu. Anyway, after all that waffling about how he can and cannot play or whatever, what happens? Maidu comes on, you guys get instantly better, immediately. Not even 4 seconds, immediately better. Right? That's number one. So line up wrong. 2, Ahmad in the system is not good in the 10. He's at right wing back. We all know this. Everybody knows this. Where was he playing? In the 10. Wrong. 3, he's always too defensive, always too pragmatic. Who was at right wing back? Mazraoui. Can he go forward? No, he cannot. Luke Shaw, guys, it's 2025. It's 2025. Why is Luke Shaw in your team? Luke Shaw, guys. That fat, short, blonde little... guys, we can't, right? Again, Bruno can't play in that 8. I see this, Faz see this, you see this, everybody in world football see this. He's still persisting. Do you understand? Sesko is the tallest guy I saw in the Premier League. That guy's almost 2 meters tall. 2 meters tall. What does he do? For the time he's on the pitch, not a single cross is going in the box. What does he do? Takes the tallest guy on the pitch off, plays Xerxes, who doesn't sit in the box, likes dropping deep, and what does he start doing? Crossing the fucking ball.
I kid you not. The minute Sesko went off, we started. We start the minute.
Like, I don't understand.
Okay.
And then what does he do? Takes Shaw off. I think Luke Shaw came off eventually. He puts in Maguire. You'd swear, Faz, you'd swear you put a defender in the team to defend. You'd swear that's why you put defenders in the team. No. Maguire is there to get on the end of that fucking cross. That's why Maguire is in the team. To get on the end of offensive crosses. You understand? Guys, Pep did something very simple yesterday. And I think he was fortunate enough that Mamouche and all those guys were injured. Because he played a 6 in 6. He played 8 in 8. Funny how when you play players in their positions, things start to gel and they work out. Wingers were wingers, strikers were strikers, everything worked. Do you understand? That's the issue with this Amorim guy. He's stubborn, he's getting it wrong week in, week out. You guys, we look so much better. Better than what, Chief? Does he understand that the only reason United wasn't relegated is because the relegation final was just that shit? The only reason.
The only team he looks better than is Amorim's United. That's the only thing he looks
Basically.
better than.
You understand? And the thing for me, and this is probably going to be my last point as well, I agree with you in that the squad building is getting better. And I kept saying during the transfer market, I'm like, guys, we can't be blaming a lack of recruitment. Money is being spent. I'm the type of guy where I'm like, guys, context, you can give me as much as you want. Were you given money, yes or no? If all you had was 200 million, your job is to make the most out of that 200 million. If you're in your professional judgment, the best of that 200 million is Sesko, Cunha, and Mbeumo, what I understand is you said, this is what I need to start kicking on and moving. So when you fail to kick on and moving, I don't want to hear run by a midfield. I don't want to hear that. You had 200 meter and you made a choice and you made sacrifices and you made the call that you made and you said, this is enough for me to get my football goal. And it's not good. So I agree. The squad building has improved. You guys are getting rid of some of the dead weight. Are there still some players that have no business being there? Yes. However, there is a significant improvement in terms of the squad. So he's right. The squad is better. The squad that is available to be picked is better. The problem is, this guy has 8 wins in 31 games. Any other club in world football, you are sacked. No questions asked. Every other club in world football, you are sacked. But for some reason, this guy's in a job.
Because
wow,
that's where I'm going to interject, LG. I agree with you, right? I agree with the gents. I don't believe Amorim is a bad coach. I really don't. Right? I really don't believe that he's a bad coach. But I'll also say, if Klopp had the squad of players that United has had over the last 10 years,
Much better.
he would have won, right?
Yes.
But not because
Can you use a
of
non-Liverpool
tactics.
example so that I take you seriously?
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Let's do this. If Mourinho had stayed with his toxicity, given him as much of a chance as how
Silverware.
Amorim had,
Silverware.
you
Serial
know,
winner.
no, he already had silverware, so that's already
Mhm.
guaranteed. He would have taken them to the promised land, right? But like, I mean, the only coach that had a better win ratio anyway for you guys ever has been Fergie. You know, so that already speaks volumes of what that caliber coach. But that's another topic. The thing with Amorim that I feel with Amorim, with Solskjaer, Ten Hag, Van Gaal, those coaches that United have brought in are not the coaches United have to have. It's the same things, and I'm going to bring it back to Liverpool. It's the same things that Liverpool struggled with for the longest of times until we got a Klopp. You know, we had a Benitez and we had a Gerard Houllier command respect as well to a certain degree. Even Brendan Rodgers, you know, but there was kind of like United have had those kind of coaches anyway as well, like David and all that stuff. But the problem with that is that they can never take you to the promised land because certain managers have to be at certain clubs. It's just that simple. Why? Because then players run the club. And it doesn't matter. You're not going to sell 25 players in one window and bring in 25 players. So even when you're getting rid of what you think is dead wood, there's still residuals of what was there that now becomes the new
DNA.
growth point.
This
And
loser
that's the
mentality,
new
man.
cancer. You get what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is it's the same thing now. Is that okay, cool, you got rid of Rashford and all that stuff. There's Mount. There, you know, there's there's Mount, there's Luke Shaw. For half of the whole the preseason there was Onana. You get what I mean? He was there. He was there interacting with the players. He was chatting with the guy. So what I'm trying to say is that players know how to strategically down tools. I mean, our greatest player in Gerrard looked at Roy Hodgson, thought to himself, this is a great guy, but he cannot be our manager, and skied a penalty. Bruno did the same thing this season. You know, like at at City, that offside thing, I promise you, Amorim did not coach that. There's no coach that gets that wrong, where it's like, yeah, you're gonna push that high that you go beyond the line. No coach coaches that. You know what I mean? That was players taking. So I get also why he chooses to be stubborn because he probably is just like, and I think that's what was happening with the board, where it's just like he was questioning himself. I think that day at Grimsby, where it's like, am I coaching these people this thing that I'm seeing? And I think he's also watched the game tapes over and over again. It's just like these guys are trying to get me fired. And I know that what they've done with previous coaches, which is probably why he doesn't want to play Mainu, because Mainu is of that previous form, which does not feel an Emery. You know what I mean? And that's the problem with having other coaches, players. Like, and when you keep chopping and changing coaches all the time, that's the issue that you end up having this core of players that are like that, or that, and it becomes like thing. You know what I mean? And that's why I feel like, and I'm not even joking when I say this, I think the greatest thing that will ever happen for United is if Gempel and Ben, and you guys are going to take it like it's banter, but I'm actually being serious, right? It helped Newcastle, it helped City, it helped, uh, you know,
Stick with the man. That's what he's
the,
saying.
the the greatest thing that could happen for you guys is you stick with him, you get relegated. No one cares about you guys for a year, You have all
There we
those
go.
players realizing
Manchester.
that, my goodness, they kept this guy and they allowed him to relegate us. He's
Manchester
not going
United
anywhere.
Football Club will go bust if we get relegated. You don't understand. You understand the
I
amount
mean,
of debt we have? No, we will cease to exist as a football club. We will go
is that
under.
the worst thing for football? Like on a side note.
So here's my thing, right? So I hear valid points all around. My problem now is like in the wanting to build and get rid of whatever new mentality or whatever. Yes, whether inadvertently or not, right? I feel like these players, they'd like, I feel like the same way like me as a fan now, right? When we lose, I don't feel it the same way as I used to feel it. Like it's just kind of like whatever. And that's like apathy, right? And that's shit. That means that we are like in the depths of hell here, right? In terms of our experience here. But like I feel like the players are also not feeling a loss the way they need to anymore.
It's a paycheck.
Because
They
it's
have no association
no,
to you
but
guys.
also just because like it's become so normal now to lose under Amorim now and whatever. And then,
Shit. Yeah.
and then we like I remember when we used to lose and we used to get paragraphs from Bata and paragraphs from Rashford and whatever. I feel like if those guys were still here, they wouldn't even write those paragraphs anymore. They're just like, yeah, and they get going. And that for me is a problem. Losing
The
needs
thing,
to
right,
hurt.
is the thing for me as well is, yes, I know we get on United players and their standards and the fact that these guys are just here for a paycheck. But I mean, how I view it, right, is standards need to be set all around. Take Abramovich, for example. Abramovich was the type of guy where, was there player power? Yes. Did the dressing room dictate what's going on? Yes. But they were successful. Do you know why? Because Abramovich is also the same person where if after a poor season and he knows it's because of players, he will come to the dressing room and say there will be changes. And just like that, players are getting sanctions for sale, left, right, and center. And new players are coming in. The standards were kept at both levels. I feel right now with United is, yes, the recruitment has been poor. But I do genuinely feel that in terms of recruitment and the players, you guys are on an upward trajectory. What you don't want to do, which I fear might happen, is have one standard for a manager performing and being subpar, but expecting these players to feel some type of responsibility for not performing equally as subpar as well. Because the manager's failing. Let's be clear. This guy is severely underachieving and he's failing. And just as a manager, put the players aside, put everything aside. Him as a manager, his performance so far is absolute dismal failure. You're not going to tell me 8 out of 31 is purely because of the players. It's mostly him. You understand? So for me, you have a manager setting a terrible standard of just losing and losing and losing and accepting that let's just suffer. Whereas at least, guys, even if you don't have your players, even if things are tough, even if things are down, you need to grind through and get results. That mentality has to come from somewhere. The manager really made it clear that my system is failing, but I'm going to stick to it. So who's going to drive the mentality to say, oh, guys, let's grind, let's get something going. Let's actually apply some standards.
And the problem.
No, they just simply need to do what Arsenal did. Arsenal. I think that's what they failed to do when Fergie left. Arsenal decided, okay, we've now won the Invincibles. We've reached our peak. Let's tear up Highbury. Let's make it a parking lot. Let's dream bigger. Let's do Emirates, and we're going to suffer. That's where Sufferman comes in, right? And it becomes a thing of we're going to suffer because we can't buy and won't be able to compete, but we'll eventually get to. Eventually, we hope, get to where we need to get to. We hope. They hope. Right?
Chief, I have to interject.
United.
Sorry. I feel like
United could have done that. Old Trafford, I think that's the hindrance. You can't be a professional player growing up knowing. Think about it this way, Tish. You were
they're building a new stadium. They showed us the plans. So it's. I hear you, but they're doing something about it, right? And building a stadium is they've shown us 2 billion whatever stadium, whatever, gonna be the best stadium in the world, blah blah blah. So they're doing that, I guess. It's happening in the background. Sorry, I just want to bring James in quickly. He's been out. James.
No, I'm just listening to all the opinions, and
he's being chefed. He's being cooked. He's being chefed.
I'm just getting
here.
the same thing over and over again. Where number one, for a manager to be successful, he brings in a way of play where he has to get player buy-in. The moment you lose player buy-in, that means you
Facts.
lose the dressing room. That's one.
Facts.
Number two, I look at the players and I always still say the same statement of recruitment. As much as some of you would say it's improving, I would just say we haven't recruited the right players for a long, long, long time. The same people who decided that Amorim is our man, you didn't give Amorim the right tools for him to succeed. And it's been the same trend with whoever manager you can think of that we had. You had standards where you had LVG finishing fifth, winning an FA Cup, you sacked him. You had standards where Mourinho got you to second, and you rewarded him by giving him Dalot and Fred instead of more players to challenge for the league. You got Ole to a point where he finished second, lost the Europa League final, but you rewarded him with a new contract instead of saying, "This is your last chance, Saloon. Go do something or you get sacked." You reward Ten Hag for finishing eighth and winning an FA Cup with a new contract and allowing him to again perpetuate the cycle of poor players. Now we are saying, yes, Ineos is trying to get us out through the mud, but it's always the combination of you get the right man, but play him as shorthand. You get the right players, but you do not surround the right players with the right tools for them to succeed. So it's just a mixture of, I don't want to say dross, but you've got a dysfunctional squad with the wrong manager to work this dysfunctional squad. And I look at the Ineos again and to say that, guys, you had a football director in Dan Ashworth. You can't tell me Jason Wilcox and also Sir Jim Ratcliffe in this combination, they are the right ones to lead the club forward. A lot of things
Has
need to change.
But
has
as a
Amorim
manager,
earned the right to more than 200 million though?
It doesn't matter
Before we
whether
blame the
he
recruitment.
That's not a fair argument. I mean, Richard Hughes has never been exposed to the money he's been exposed to. But if you know how to work money, you know how to work money. Ashworth, I just don't think was the right guy. Period. Because he worked at Brighton, but you don't, man. That's why you where you are, because Brighton has the model that Bournemouth,
Buy cheap,
Southampton,
sell.
all those teams have,
yeah.
where it's selling, buying, selling,
Mm.
buying, which is exactly what United has been.
Dan
There's
Ashworth was
no
yeah.
consistency.
Yeah, Dan Ashworth was actually failing at Newcastle as well. They were actually quite happy that we paid his release clause because there was friction in the boardroom there, and Eddie Howe had sort of like taken over. And
Yeah.
Ashworth was the sporting director in name, but he was like being iced out of meetings and like things like that because they thought this guy's not doing what we need him to be doing.
You
So
signed him. Look at
United
you now.
couldn't hire
But
British.
but
It's finished.
Dan Ashworth is the one that built the Eddie Howe Newcastle and brought him in. And the moment Eddie
Yeah.
Howe was starting to hit it off, that's when they froze him out. And Brighton, again, Dan Ashworth is the one who brought Brighton to where they were with the Eddie Howe and getting in. What's this guy's name who's at Marseille? I forgot his Zebri before he
Oh,
left.
deserved
deserved
it.
it.
Deserve.
Yeah.
Potter
So
deserved
as
it.
much as I want to agree or disagree in a sense that maybe he wasn't good enough, I'm just saying Dan Ashworth, Jason Wilcox. What has Jason Wilcox done that was so great that he has a better opinion than a Dan
Yeah.
Ashworth as a result?
No, that isn't the
Jason
argument.
Wilcox, yeah, but Jason Wilcox ran the City Academy, and the City Academy, he's got an eye for talent. The City Academy, yeah. No, but the City Academy,
Academy.
the line of talent that has come out of that academy is wild.
Is all sold,
wild.
and
Bad
any
job.
innovative playing in the team that
Just
competes.
for
And
the
then he was the
thought.
Hey,
sporting,
bad
and then he
job.
was the sporting director, and then he was the sporting director at Southampton as well. And then the
Just hold
players,
the thought.
the players that left from
Hold the
Southampton.
thought. Academy, City Academy. He was not in charge of first team recruitment for Man City.
Facts. Facts, James. Facts.
so
Facts.
No, but that's fine. You're also coming. Look, Ashworth failed, right? Let's be clear. At United, Dan Ashworth failed, right? Because Dan Ashworth, you're complaining right now about Ten Hag's contract. That was Dan Ashworth. That was Dan Ashworth. Let's extend him. That was Dan Ashworth. The people he wanted to bring in, Graham Potter, West Ham's Graham Potter. Those are the people who was looking at. So the argument with Dan Ashworth was that this guy only knows English football. He knows nothing else. He's got no connects anywhere else. Everything is just the same people that we know, the same players that we know. He's not, and they're like, as a sporting director, we need somebody who's got his finger on the pulse and who's in touch with the global game. That was Dan
And the
Ashton's
finger
failing.
on the pulse is Ruben Amorim.
Yeah, Ruben Amorim came from Omar Barada, the CEO. So
This is where I'll just keep
You
quiet.
guys need a model like Crystal Palace, man. The fans need to own the club so that from there on in, they can see exactly how confused they are. Because honestly, you like Man United, you guys don't see what the problem is. But the problem is not Dan What, it's not Jason Wilcox, it's not the squad as well. It's not the manager, it's not the ownership, it's not just the stadium. It's literally Man
Everything.
United. Like that club is why I keep trying to tell you, like that club right
Renegade.
now. Yeah, like there's something, there's juju happening there. You know, like Pogba, you know, something happened.
But
Like-
all this said, right? There's a myriad of problems, right? But on the football pitch, our managers not placing the right people
Thank you.
in the right positions. So I can't tell you one.
And he has
player,
them.
right?
He has those players. He has them.
I can't tell you one.
Okay, so
player.
who's the
Wait,
right
wait,
who's the
hang
right
on.
player?
Hang on. I'm just saying in the 11, right? I can't tell you one player who I can say that this guy's shining because of Amorim. Or the
Facts.
system is making him look good. I can't tell you one.
Facts.
And
Facts.
that's a problem.
Fair,
That's a
Facts.
problem.
fair. But my question is, okay, fine. Let's take Amorim's system, right? Let's do it actually right now. Goalkeeper, fine. We know you guys are gonna say the new goalkeeper, so we can skip that.
Nah, buy in there. Keep him in there. Keep him in there.
No, well, Lamens will be our starter. Let's go with Lamens will be our starter.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah. Your three centre backs. Who are the three centre backs then?
Amorim,
The left
first
Maguire,
of all,
Euro.
just on that, on the centre backs, every game he changes the centre back pairing. Every game.
That's my
Every
thing.
game.
I've seen it. Like I would change it as well. If I'm walking into the Man United and I'm the coach and I look to my squad and I'm like, oh, Harry's still here. I know I've got a problem. Because this
He's
is
one
a
of the
former
best
captain.
defenders, Chief.
Yeah.
He's one of the
he's
best
a former
players.
captain.
No, right
He's
now.
a former captain and a failed captain.
No, right now, Harry Maguire is our game-changing stuff. Every game when we.
But he's also your failed captain.
But I'm talking to the manager's mentality right here. Right
Yeah.
now, you're chasing a game. You need to change something.
You bring
what
a
do you
defender.
do? You bring on Harry Maguire. You put him up there. That's your game-changing
Box
stuff.
crushing defender.
And you leave. Yes, exactly. You leave everybody else on your bench. Harry Maguire is going to be your thing, and that's a problem as well with the mentality. Every game he substitutes a centre back, brings Maguire on, puts Maguire up front, starts crossing. That's what he does. But like you were saying, Fuzz, you were wanting us to go through the system, Amorim system, and whatever. But that's already the problem right there, right? Great managers adapt, right? Why is it that we can only play this one system? That's my problem.
True.
And why
No,
can't we
so
we go 4-3-3. You go 4-3-3. Who are your centre backs?
Okay, cool. 4-3-3. You can put De Ligt and let's see, De Ligt and Euro centre back.
Done. Easy, Chan. I can give it to you.
Yeah.
Holding
Two centre backs. Who's your whole?
Ugarte with the sole job of destroying. None of this pass and create and all that crap, and put 2 8s in front of him to do all the orchestrating. Your midfield is 10 times better already. 10 times better.
You can put Ugarte, Mainu, and Bruno. You could put Ugarte, Casemiro, and a Bruno or a Mainu or whatever. But the point is, like the problem with Ruben's system, right, is that in that 2-man pivot, even a prime Kante is going to struggle.
You need legs, Baba.
You need legs for days. So like
you need legs.
So that's what I was trying to allude
He's asking the impossible from these players. And now you've got
But that's what I was trying to allude to. Where I was saying No, but that's what I was trying to allude to when I was asking about that system thing,
Yeah.
where it's just like if I'm walking in and I'm looking at my squad and I'm seeing a Harry Maguire, who was once upon a time, by the way, the world's most expensive defender, you know, and this is a guy who was a failed captain, a failed expensive signing, a failed defender, a failed whatever, right? A failed United legend now at this point, right? Like he's an anti-hero for you guys.
But you knew he was
And
there when you signed. You
no,
knew
no,
he
I
was
get
there.
that. But I'm walking in there and I'm seeing he's still there and with hopes of obviously him leaving, being one of the first names to leave. This guy has probably seen 4 or 5 managers. Right?
They
He's
turned Maguire.
probably the cancer.
They turned Maguire offers down. Maguire had offers this summer. They turned it down.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yes, you
But
guys aren't
like
serious as
in-
a club. Yo.
No, but the
But
thing
what I'm trying to say is
no, but the thing is, the problem is you can only buy so many players and sell so many players, so you're gonna be short-staffed if you just get rid of everybody. So that's
no,
what
look
the
at your
phase
academy.
faced.
Rather play Heaven. Where's Heaven? Oh,
That's a
Yeah,
good
that's what I'm
question.
saying.
No,
Look at the
Rather.
academy.
yeah, that's a good
Look
question.
at the academy.
suffer through him. Rather.
Yeah,
You're losing
I-
anyway. Might as well play kids there.
I really thought he was gonna use the academy
That's
more.
where
and
my
now-
beef with Amorim
yeah,
is. It's
yeah.
not his system,
Yeah.
it's his selection. Because I get it. Okay, fine. I'd like to think of myself as a being an in between what Amorim would be in terms of stubbornness, but then in game being able to adapt, kind of like Slot, where Slot doesn't know what the next move is until he knows how the team is going to play, right? But if I had your guys' squad, I wouldn't play. I think I'd play maybe 4 of the players that you guys have. Everyone else comes from the academy. I don't care. Fire me. I'm looking there. Who's got legs here?
And you're not.
That's
It'll
who
buy
I'm
you
playing.
credit. It'll buy you credit as well, because there are people who also
Yeah.
see that this guy's trusting the youth and whatever. Maybe he doesn't have the solutions,
Exactly.
but like it feels more like a project, like when you do it that
Yeah.
way, and it'll buy you.
So
favor
that's my
sometimes.
beef with Amorim. Not his system. It's his selection in the sense of he's a coward.
Yes.
In I guess for you guys he's a coward in that other way of wanting to change. For me, he's a coward in the sense of he knows that if he isolates basically the whole squad, first of all, Ineos is on his ass because that's investments, that's real money there. But then secondly, if he fails now, they actually will fire if he brings in the youth. That's where I have an issue with him. But the system, I mean, so many teams have played this. It's not a magical
That's the
system
thing.
that
3-4-3 is not
created.
new, guys. We've seen 3-4-3
You know what I
work
mean?
before.
It's not a magical system. The thing is, it needs legs. And if you have legs, that's why I had an issue with you guys selling Garnacho. And you guys hated Garnacho, but I was like,
Got
Garnacho,
legs.
Ahmad, Garnacho, Ahmad, yeah, Mainu, but Mainu is a bit slow and he's
There's the
too much of
intangibles,
a
there's the
tactical
attitude.
midfielder.
There's the intangibles, the attitude,
Guys,
and
Guys. Cantona was an asshole. Cantona was a rubbish person off the pitch, but somehow
He was
a
terrible.
smart
But he wasn't
manager
a
saw.
kid. But he wasn't a kid in an asshole.
All I'm saying is, guys.
Rooney was an asshole.
Yes,
Yeah, but
you
Rooney
put your arm
was
around these
an
players.
asshole.
Guys, you
Garnacho
put your
thinks
arm
he's
around these
Ronaldo was
players.
an asshole. Ronaldo still is an asshole.
No,
Exactly.
but guys, you need to remember, Garnacho thinks that he's Cristiano Ronaldo.
Man United
It
are a
It doesn't
team of
matter.
assholes.
No,
Your
no,
team
no.
is
That's the thing.
feels that
You're
way.
asking, you're saying Amorim, what has he done in order to earn him being stubborn? What has Garnacho done in order to earn him being an asshole? He's done nothing. He's done nothing. That's like, bruh, like who's
Made you guys happy.
bruh, it's like who's in your team? It's like flipping. You had Jay Spearing and he was an asshole. Oh, Andre Vorodin. It's like that level of like my guy. It's a difference if Gerard is being an asshole versus some kid. Some random kid.
All I'm saying
Jay
is,
Spearing would have
all I'm
never
saying
been
is-
sold for the money that Garnacho was sold for. So there's something there that Garnacho has
No, he's got,
compared.
Thank
he's
you.
got,
Garnacho
he's
is
got
Trent.
the tools. He's got the tools, but like he thinks he's arrived, so it doesn't work. It doesn't work as hard as he needs to work, and he's just caught up in all of this other stuff. He's one of those, like, there's so many, but there's a long line of players who have the tools. We've had far more talent than Garnacho and have not worked out because of attitude and application. So
That's Sancho as well.
Who's in your academy that's come out under Amorim, actually?
No one.
And that's our problem.
That's the issue.
He hasn't blooded anyone.
Zero.
That's the issue. Like, you can't be a coach of a team, head coach, which manager you become more forgiven because you have to manage all aspects. As a head coach, that's where you get judged, where it's like, who have you brought in? Like, that's where I was judging Klopp for a while, even until the season we actually won the league, after the Champions League, because then he had blooded in Curtis Jones. Yeah, Trent was already there before, so we don't count him as a top. Like he but Trent was there before.
Yeah.
Then he started bringing in the Curtis Jones, Harvey Elliott were coming through, all that stuff. And that's where I was like, yeah, now he's head coaching, sponsors, all that. And started. Arteta's doing the same thing now, finally. You get what I mean? And that's why I'm saying with Amorim, maybe the reason they're not firing him is because they're seeing something in the academy, maybe they're not ready, or they're hoping that this guy eventually will just go.
Yeah,
it's a power play. It's a power play. The only reason he's not sacked is because they look stupid. That's all.
Cost fallacy.
Basically, they kept Ten Hag too long, and I remember telling Tish to get rid, and he argued with me. But anyway, I remember saying they kept Ten Hag too long, and then they hired Amorim at the wrong time. And now they've somewhat clearly backed him by spending 200 mil. Now if they sack him again, that's them admitting that they don't want to find a manager. So they're not going to do it. To save face, they're going to
the next one after. That's the problem that comes in. Who's the next one?
Literally anybody who has the ability to look at a squad and say, hey, I think this will work, will do 10 times better than this. Anyone.
No, but they don't need 10 times better. This is Man United. Like, as much I know I chat shit about Man United, and I'm actually genuinely serious when I say they need to come second or die, right? That's why I'm saying the next coach can't be like 10 times better, because 10 times better than 14 is only top 4 or whatever. You get what I mean? You don't need Man United in that game.
These people need time. Right? All you need to do
is want them to have people.
Listen, Fast. What they need is anybody with a decent footballing brain to be hired on reasonable wages where termination is not going to be. Like, literally, the perfect scenario is they need 3 or 4 interim coaches before they get to those heights again. Unfortunately, that's just where they are.
Look, Amorim was on a 2-year deal. I'm sure his termination clause isn't that hectic. But guys,
it's not that hectic.
Guys, let's give it to James quickly. We can go on.
Look, I need to bring Dan Ashworth back, and I'm again bringing in Sir James.
This man has been furiously googling.
He's quoting his narrative the whole time.
Yeah, no, literally.
Mr. Ashworth.
Dan Ashworth and Berada only started after Ten Hag was given that contract. So they were not involved in that negotiation, because it's that thing of gardening leave where they couldn't actively get involved in.
But let's be real. Yes, legally.
Yes, that's
but let's be real.
No,
and Ashworth had a burner phone. They were working. they were working. Burner phone. He might not have had an @manunited.co.uk email address. But those men were working. You can't tell me they were just in the garden, chilling.
And number 2, looking at Sir Jim Ratcliffe, in a sense that he will say, oh, I got this guy wrong. This guy came in and said, you know what? Since Ten Hag is gone, let us get Eddie Howe, or let's get Thomas Frank. And Sir Jim looked at it and said, no, those guys are not charismatic enough. We need somebody different. The third point, Dan Ashworth said, look, guys.
Southgate and Graham Potter on that list of yours.
Yeah, no, those guys were also on the table as well. The next point was like okay, if you don't want
higher on the table,
I want to bring in a data analytics team as well to help us with recruitment and also choosing our managers. And that's where Sir Jim was like, not fuck out of here. But rather get me the right manager. And all I'm just saying is, in this whole sequence is that thing of, Sir Jim, you made a mistake on giving Ten Hag a new contract. You brought in Dan Ashworth. It didn't work. You got rid of him. You went on to choose Ruben Amorim. As things stand, it's not working. So am I going to say, oh, I made another mistake? It's the same sequence you're telling United fans, I'm making mistakes. Oh, I'm firing staff as well to save us money. our ex-players were also cutting off from the bill as well because the club is too expensive. It's a sequence of saying, I am making mistakes, and I'll still keep on saying the same thing. Whether it's manager recruitment, player recruitment, the line of thoughts I'm always seeing from Ineos is we are trying to rebuild, but at the same time, we are making mistakes after mistakes and mistakes. And this is where we are. So whoever you bring in, who knows? It's going to just be another mistake the way I see it, because I can't trust Sir Jim Ratcliffe or Ben Wilcox in making the right football decisions for this Man United first team.
Shut on the
football
club
team.
then.
But like,
How?
no,
Shut on the club then.
I hear you, James, right? But that
Relegation
chat,
once.
no, I hear you. But that chat is about Man United being a force and challenging for the league or whatever. That chat is
No,
not
not
about
even.
that chat is not about beating Grimsby, beating Fulham. That chat, that's got nothing. It's got nothing to do with all of those things. That is squarely on the man in the dugout, squarely. Even
And
with
then
these
who hired the
existing
man in the
tools.
dugout?
No, it doesn't matter. The existing tools right
They
now.
don't pick his team for him,
The
Keith. They don't pick his
existing tools
system for
right
him.
now.
He did all of that himself.
But
Yeah.
that's the
So
bed
Jim
that they
doesn't pick
made.
the lineup. Sir Jim
But that's the bed he
doesn't
made.
bench
He
Minu.
chose this man.
Sir Jim
He chose
doesn't
this
bench
stubborn
Minu.
man.
Yeah, then they'll have to fire him. Guys, we can chat about this.
Chief, one more.
We can
Okay,
chat about
sorry,
this
quickly. One more. Imagine you were that employee or that worker at United who had to lose their job for them to save money. And you're sitting at home watching this crap.
Yeah.
This is what they save money for. This is why I got fired for this.
Yeah.
They
Yeah,
probably
man.
enjoy it every weekend. Like,
Probably,
every
maybe.
weekend.
Yeah, but no, I hear you. That's yeah. Anyways, just another day in the chronicles of Manchester United.